podcast. We're kicking it off right now. In case you're not ready, Matt. I wasn't really sure how to start that, so that's why I just pressed record. And I was like, let's just jump in when I feel like it.
Let's work it out.
We've got a bit of a interesting week of things to talk about. Some things I should have watched I didn't watch.
Oh man,
don't worry. I watched the YouTube thing you told me to watch. That was really good. Going, man. How you going? It's been a while. We haven't really spoken this week.
No, we haven't actually. We haven't spoken for a couple of days now.
No, my bad.
But it's just like we keep messaging each other, Matt. You ran. Oh, sorry, man. I'm streaming. Oh, fuck. No, it's all good, bro. Don't worry about it. And it's like, oh, Matt, no, you around hard, dude. I'm busy. Fuck. Okay, no worries. We just keep back and forth bowling it. It happens though. This is why we have this now. So we literally put an hour aside to catch up with each other.
Minimum 1 hour.
It's no, I've been good, man. I've been good. Just work's keeping busy. Getting more into the iRacing, which we'll talk about later. But,
yes.
No, it's been a very quick week actually.
It's flown by. I'm honestly surprised. It feels like, I'm pretty sure it was. So I was talking to Sam last night, one of my family brother-in-law. Talking to him last night, and he said, "Oh yeah, like on Monday." I'm like, "What Monday?" But in my head, it was like Monday was only like yesterday. Like, I'm like, bro, that was yesterday. He's like, nah, it wasn't. That was a week ago. You idiot.
Yeah.
Holy crap. It's been like that though. The end of this year is just like accelerating at a really fast pace, and I don't think I'm okay with it because it's nearly Christmas, and I'm like, we're nearly halfway through a pregnancy. Like,
that's mind blowing to me.
It's not right. It's just going so quick.
Oh, that is mind blowing to me,
yes, dude. Well, I mean, in fairness, we're a couple of weeks off halfway exactly, but it's just like, this is just, it keeps going like this, man. It's gonna be Christmas tomorrow, and I'm gonna have a baby in 3 days. I know it's not how it works, but that's how it feels.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm gonna kick off what pissed me off the most this week, and
I like this. This is becoming like a regular segment, and I'm gonna what's pissed off Matt today.
Yeah, I mean, and feel free to throw in anything along the way here, but earlier this week, I don't know what day it was because, you know, as I said, my days are all up the duff.
Blurred. Yeah,
I was playing Battlefield 2042 with Sloth, and we were playing, I can't remember what the game mode is. You know, the game mode, you got to push the objectives, and it's like breakthrough. I always forget that. Anyway,
it's basically Rush. Like, they've just named it like it's more edgy now, Breakthrough, isn't it?
Rush. It's like Blackout from COD when they were trying to be super edgy with BR, but it just didn't happen. And then it's like, you know what, guys, that sucked. Let's like revamp this and call it Warzone. Yeah. And we've still got Warzone. Great. Anyway, we're playing Breakthrough, and I don't even know what the map was. It was interesting map. Anyway, I thought, oh, let's switch to a sniper because there was a few little cool vantage points. I was like, I'd love to get up there and just like see if I could take some pot shots at people and whatever, get a few kills. Happy days, having a good time. So I did that, got up to my spot, and there was heaps of people. Like, you know, when you zoom in, it's like, oh my God, who do I shoot first? I had that moment probably at least 3 times in this particular map. And I'm looking down, and I'm like, okay, cool, this guy's running, he stops. And I get him straight in the middle of the crosshairs, bang, pull the trigger. And you know that feeling, like, I haven't missed that shot. Like, you just know you hit, he's dead. He's dead, he doesn't survive this.
No.
5 times I did that. 5 times, 3 on the same person, 2 on another person before I just decided to turn the game off. 5 times I shot on their heads, that gut feeling I have not missed, and 5 times no rego. What the fuck is that? Battlefield. We talked about this last week, not with Battlefield, but with Call of Duty. We've had these games for so long, man, and you can't get hit reg right? Like, And initially my thought was, maybe my graphics are too high and it's not processing quick enough. Maybe they're not in the right spot, whatever. I did internet tests. I did all my graphics tests. Everything was running perfect. I was running 8 milliseconds ping. Like, that's quick. That's quick. You should not be missing shots on that. And then nothing.
Netcode, right?
Well,
it'll be a netcode thing.
Oh, I don't know, man. But it sucks. It sucks so much. And then you pull out like an M5, which is the M4, which, you know, in 20 years' time, they're going to change the name of that, rebrand. And that thing felt like I was shooting bubbles at people. Like, they were just coming past, I'm just like blowing bubbles, like,
that's that bad at a war.
Yeah.
See that someone, no, hey, listen, listen, Greg, mate, we can't afford
look,
you
man.
to have a weapon, so just bubble gun for you.
You
all
just
right?
stay on the back line and you just blow
yeah,
bubbles, keep the boys entertained.
that's it. Dissipation.
And look, I don't know
You
if
still
you've
look the
experienced
part.
anything similar, but that
No,
was the biggest thing.
I haven't got really anything right about this week. I'll be honest.
Well, that's good because that sucked. It was really frustrating. I'm like, man, because before that I was having a good time, and like when we played the week prior,
Yeah,
had a great time. And I don't know what's changed in the week because I know they did an update, which I think was a 4 gig download, which wasn't too bad. We did that, jumped on, and I don't know what they've destroyed in the code, but I know it's not isolated because there's a lot of people that have been complaining about it, heaps.
How weird is it? Like, I understand coding and all that sort of stuff, and I know that if you put something new in, like a patch, it usually will screw with other bits of code. But I find it so interesting to me that like they obviously test on their servers, but surely, like, I don't know if like this is at all viable, whatever, right? But I guess this is why public test servers exist.
Yeah, what do you think about
why not just have even like an open server that is going to be like running exactly how it would be, and insert that into there and just see what happens.
I'll
like,
run it for a week. I mean, pretty sure
a private server, yeah, or
there's
a
heaps
week.
of games that do that, man. What?
It's weird, man. It's
PUBG
weird.
has experimental. DayZ has experimental.
New World now does.
Yeah, New World as well. It makes sense. You can run it on there, but I mean, you've got to sort of incentivize people to jump on that and actually test it out, I guess.
Yeah, but like that's the thing. Like, if you incentivize things like for instance, New World, they've obviously now got the Void Gauntlet in the game, and that was in the public test server for 2 weeks beforehand. So that obviously incentivized people to go there, do it, because they get to see the new changes. They got to experiment and see like all the little small like changes to weapons and stuff that they didn't actually like. They just discreetly put it in there, and just made people sort of find it. And and then they just went, we're bringing it all over. Like they tested it, and it was probably one of the smoothest patches we had, apart from obviously all the game breaking bugs.
Was there many this patch?
There is a few. I don't want to I won't talk about exploits or anything like that, because like obviously if anyone does this in here's and then
I've never been
don't
a big
be a
fan
dickhead and do it.
Don't be a dick. Right. I've never been a fan of actually like giving any extra publicity to like I mean hackers are one thing, but hacks in games, exploits in games, things like that, because it's game breaking and it makes it less fun for everybody. And then people don't play, which just kills the game, and you don't want that.
But I mean, even League has a test server.
Does it?
Yeah, it does. Yeah, that's how. So they put in like say like we're pre-season right now.
Yeah.
They put all that stuff in 2-3 weeks before it gets released to the server, so that if any champ is very, very overpowered, they just nerf it like instantly. Yeah, that's how they do it. So before each like season or like mid seasons or whatever, they will always do a patch in there that will allow people to experiment with new items. They put new items into it. They put new abilities, characters, etc. So that's how they see all, like the skin spotlights and stuff. All the skins get added to that beforehand.
Right, and then
like there's no like visual bugs, or they can get rid of all that before it gets.
They actually get a chance to rectify things. Before public service. That makes sense.
Yeah,
I wish some of the AAA titles that I enjoy playing did that more often, as opposed to just sort of.
I don't understand, if you're going to have an online game these days in this day and age.
Why you be updating it as frequently as they do?
But why you don't run beside it a test server? Like, it to me, it doesn't cost any more resources. Like if you want your game to keep pushing, you need it.
Absolutely.
Because the best, it's the best and worst feedback you can ever get is from your community. And if you're passionate about it, you're going to get people, like, especially if there's coders or programmers or whatever are in there, they're going to go to the forums and they're going to tell you what is wrong with the game.
Yes, that's right.
And it's up to then the community managers and whatever to relay that to the developers.
Correct.
To say, this is the problems. And that is the perfect storm, in my opinion. It's just the way it should be.
That makes the most sense. I don't understand why. I kind of understand, because it's just more work that they can't be bothered doing. I mean, I hate using Activision as an example, but Activision do it for some games, not for others. You know what I mean?
It's very odd. Yeah, it's like. I mean, I don't know how they're structured, but it almost
Yeah.
feels like there's like a package tier. So it's like, okay, yeah, we can like host your game, which is entirely fine. Blah 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 blah.
Yes,
Blah.
yes, I
But
understand.
like, how much are you willing to spend? They're just like,
Yep.
this package, is this package, and this package, and it's just like, well, you're making an MMO. Do you want this? And then they either say the developer then says nah.
Well, you've got
So
on one hand, you've got uh, World of Warcraft, which
yeah,
I think is pretty well optimized. I know a lot of the hardcore guys probably wouldn't agree.
yeah, yeah.
But
Well,
it gets
well,
a lot of
yeah.
love and attention. And then you've got Call of Dickweeds who just don't give a fuck about their paying customers and just like, you know what, let's
Crazy to
just,
me.
you guys want anti-cheat? Nah, fuck you.
It's just crazy to me now in a Call of Duty thing, and this is probably my rant, I guess.
Yeah.
But any sort of thing. What the obviously a video game is at the top of the list, and any game that you make is fun, right? That
Yep.
would be big bold letters, fun, right?
Oh man.
The way you feel fun in a video game these days, and mostly like MMOs, this goes around across any genre really, is
Absolutely.
you want to feel powerful, right?
Yes.
And you want to feel like I can shit on that guy, and I can do that 10 times over, right?
Yeah.
That's why obviously there's niche markets like Dark Souls where that would come back at you and go, well, no. Actually, I'm gonna send you a I'm gonna get Mav to send you a TikTok actually because it's a really funny one. It's just like I'll explain it. It's basically like every game has like a difficulty system that's like hard or easy and all that sort of stuff. And then there's Dark Souls, where it basically just says "fuck you." But yeah, so that you want to feel powerful, but at the same time, what they're doing to make you feel powerful is just releasing unbalanced weapons that
Yeah.
no one else can contend with if they're going in the baseline game because I do not agree at all with a pay to win system.
No.
It is the shittest thing, and
Yeah.
it will make a game die. There is one game, and if Stovey ever listens to this, he'll get really sad because he knows exactly the game that I'm talking about. But Paragon went that way,
Yeah.
and unfortunately, it was one. It was ahead of its time.
Wait, refresh
it
me
was
with Paragon.
way-
Was that a
Paragon?
like a first
Paragon was a
league?
third person MOBA,
Third person. Sorry. Yep.
so it's basically Smite, but just better. It was just
Yeah.
the system, everything. It was like just the characters had a great like system to them. The abilities were very close to like League, and the same sort of fighting was happening, right?
Yeah.
But they just screwed it because what they tied to each character and in the store was cards, and cards is what you sort of you chose your passives.
Yeah.
And they put the cards in a store, and it
locked
was a
them.
pay to win system.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
messed up because there would have been cards that
But
were better than
then-
others and shit.
And then they went, oh shit. And now this is we're talking about in an era where loot boxes existed, and that was not seen as gambling, right? So
It's true.
so that was in that. So you would either open boxes or you'd buy them from the store, right? It was like instant win or you leave it a chance. They got rid of that system obviously, and then they
Yep.
just put it into the game. So as you
Yep.
leveled up that character, you got the cards, sort of like how Battlefront did.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Same thing. They all had the same issue where like it was like the consumer, and I'm really glad the consumer did this, is turned on them and just went,
Nope.
hang on a minute, this is wrong. Like this is like I remember the statistics of like Battlefront 2 when it first got released. We know when it got released, right? Because we were like,
Yeah.
dude, this game is fucking unreal.
Yeah.
Like the community was sick, and then oh man, I remember just going on YouTube one time, and it was just like I was like Battlefront 2, like right, and it was just like, what's wrong with the game? What's wrong with the game?
Yeah.
This is fucked. Like this is bad. This is really bad. And I'm like, what's going on? And then literally they were saying like to level up a hero, like Darth Vader would take like 150 hours alone
Or
or
cash up, bitches.
buy yeah
Yeah.
or buy
That was
money.
wrong. That was so wrong.
It
That
was
killed
so
that game.
wrong.
That killed the launch of
Oh,
that game.
it
The first
absolutely
6
destroyed
12
it.
months was just absolute garbage. And I mean, look, they obviously saw the error in their ways there and they rectified it.
And they
which was
just
great.
they were, yeah.
But
And it's
too,
great
too,
now.
Too far gone.
And I wish the community still existed.
I know.
Like
And
there
this
is a
the
niche
problem.
community, because whenever I log on to Battlefront now, it's just fun. It's actually dumb fun, but because it takes like 30 to 40 minutes now and then to even get into a game,
You just can't find
man.
lobbies.
But God, it's fun. If you ever get the chance and it's free, please download it
Yeah.
and be a part of the community because it's a lot of fun.
They
Yeah.
usually
And
do
it will-
events like that around launches
Or-
and stuff.
I guarantee that Book of Boba Fett comes out and people will go, oh yeah, Star Wars, and then they'll download Battlefront 2 again. Like,
Yeah.
it's
You
Yeah.
watch. We'll watch that. We'll watch that chart, and you watch around the time Book of Boba Fett
Yeah.
comes out. It's like ping, and then
Yeah.
back
Yeah.
down to the floor again.
That's what I find really weird. Like the trend on Twitch. There was that weird ass time like a couple of months ago where like XQC and some of they're all playing Battlefront 2. It was very odd. Like they were all just let's just play. And then but like
you watch the player base, it went nuts.
Yeah,
like, oh my god,
the
this
revamp,
game is so
man.
good. Yes, and they stopped
Yeah,
playing.
yeah, it's like
and then
no
what happened?
shit, it never disappeared. But I think because it was around the time they did the anniversary. It must have been so it was Star Wars Celebration. That's right. Yeah, Star Wars Celebration. They added all the new shit.
Yep.
Because it was like the last big update, which is unfortunate for the game. But
have we heard yay or nay if there's going to be more Star Wars Battlefront gaming to be done? Probably
I
not,
have
because
no
EA is no
idea.
longer a part of it, aren't they? They get
I have no idea.
shafted. Yeah, I don't know.
I mean,
heard anything of
yeah,
it.
I have no idea. You know
It's
what I would
disappointing.
love? You know what I would love?
Hang on. Really deep Star Wars MMO game.
Okay, look, listen. I would. I would.
Yes.
If they had,
If that
dude, I'll be
happens,
honest.
bro, if that happens, like
oh,
New World depth, a bit more variety in it.
bro,
We're done.
could you imagine?
That's us, we're retired.
I would mine kyber crystals every day.
100%. The house would be sold. I'd be going back to mum's place. I'd just pick a room and I would have my bed, single bed, my computer, and that's all I'd do. No lights either.
Just a hoodie or like a dressing gown like over.
Shut up, mum. My dressing gown. Yeah, I've got my Grogu hoodie, so I mean that works too, doesn't it?
If they nailed a combat system though, like,
man,
dude, different stances. Like imagine seeing that, right? Going into a fight. We've spoken about this, but imagine having, imagine the For Honor system. Now, in a dual fight system, if you could take For Honor and go into like different stances, and you could be like, oh, that's that stance, and then it would be really cool, right? Is that if you're based on the like sort of abilities and whatever you're using, you could be like, wait, what the fuck is that stance? Like you could adapt your stance to how you want to play.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. I mean, we're geeking out again once against Star Wars, and we'll get to that later. But it just, yeah. Oh man, if they made a current MMO Star Wars game,
it would just
with action combat, because we're now at that stage where we can do action combat, and this is the thing with tab targeting and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Like there's nothing wrong with SWTOR. SWTOR by far is one of my favorite MMOs up there.
Yep.
And they're releasing new content.
They're still updating it. Yeah.
They're still updating it, and I don't think BioWare will ever stop that baby until obviously there is another MMO maybe, and maybe BioWare turn around and go, hey guys, we're gonna do it. Like if BioWare did this storytelling,
if they started it now, that's upsetting for us because that puts us just about in our 40s when the game comes out.
Yeah, but I mean, like, let's be real, Matt. We're not doing anything different in our 40s, you know. we have children. That's about it.
Man has a point. Yeah, no, you're right.
Our kids would be playing that with us, you know.
Oh, that's a dream, isn't it?
You know, it'd be great.
That would be the game. I reckon.
Yeah,
that would be the game I'd retire on.
Yeah, I'd get really disappointed though if they got into League. So yeah.
Oh, no, don't say nasty things like that, man.
I'm playing a game. Oh yeah, what's your first game? League of Legends. Fuck.
Oh, you're an idiot then. Good job.
Yeah. You've been talking to Stovey, I see.
Apparently you're not interested in fun at all.
Throw that out the window.
Yeah. Balanced ADCs.
Good.
Oh man. Let's talk about your iRacing this week. I'm keen. I managed to catch a bit on stream.
Mm-hmm.
I managed to catch a bit on stream, and you seemed pretty confident in the MX-5.
Oh,
which was cool. And I think you raced, and I think the last thing I remember seeing is you watching a replay of yourself going a little too hard around a corner and losing the back end and getting hit by someone from behind in a pack of cars. Now is that I didn't have the context to it because you kind of
that's pretty reminiscent to something I did.
Yeah, I know. IRL,
yeah, that's right.
How was it going aside from the little turnaround I saw?
That's all I think about, man. Crazy. Yeah, It's nuts. I've done a bit. I've done something to my knee, so I've just sort of like not due to that. I think it's just from lingering, um, the lingering car accident that I had a couple of years ago. I think it's actually finally because I started like full-time work and
Yeah.
using it more rather than sitting down and doing all streaming and stuff. I think that now it's gone like I'm not right.
Well, I mean, you have been. I'm probably not. I don't know if it's this week or not, but in the last month or so, or 2 months, you've been at gym as well.
Yeah, and it has hurt there, and I haven't been able to really actually do any like leg presses or anything. I can't put any weight on it,
Yeah.
too much. So I thought maybe that it would just strengthen it, but it's not. It's definitely tendon or something. But anyway, that's probably because of when I hit the concrete wall, I was full flat on the brake, and
Yeah.
because it was a side hit on the concrete wall, it's done something. It's jogged something, and I didn't think of anything at the time because I wasn't in pain.
Yeah. Oh, and that's
But I
the
guess
thing.
it's just lingering.
Because you are being a bit more active now, the level of information in your body is probably raised a little bit, which means things like that are going to flare up first. And obviously that's happened.
Yeah, well, like the neck, even like all the neck tendons and shit is now played up too. So it's all But I'm getting that checked. That's fine. But the actual racing side of it,
You love it.
It
loving it.
legitimately, I've missed it. I've missed the competitiveness of it. Basically, if you guys aren't familiar with iRacing is a racing simulator that you need a steering wheel for. You can use a controller, but you don't do very well in it at all. I would actually be intrigued to see how bad it is with a controller, but I think because of steering input, right? You need you need steering input to be able to like brake, turn, and there's just no feel through that. So car will step out and you won't be able to catch it because you won't know what happened.
Yeah, that's right.
So yeah, and then you start with a rookie license. So everyone starts with a rookie license and a safety rating of 250, right? Or 2.5. A safety rating is what actually allows you to get into your next licenses. And so essentially, if you are looking for a game that you can go and smash other people in, this is not the game.
Yeah, go to Forza.
You'll actually get banned if you create too many accidents. They will ban you. You'll get reported.
That makes sense.
And you'll get banned. Yeah.
I mean,
it is legitimately a racing simulator. It is the closest thing you'll get to racing without actually racing.
That's what I wanted to ask you. How do you feel? Obviously, being in a car racing it's chalk and cheese. Obviously, they're completely different. But in terms of the how have they nailed it in terms of the feel through? I mean, there's only so much you can feel through a sim rig, but how accurate do you reckon it is in terms of like your ability to? Okay, this is the best question. How does your ability transfer from being in a car in real life to being in the sim? Do you think there's some
similarities?
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
There's basically the only thing I said this in my stream last night when I was doing it. Cash asked like how close is it? And I said it's probably about 92% similar to racing a real car.
Yeah.
The MX-5 is very similar to the HQ that I have. The oversteer and understeer is very similar. It's a boat. It just pushes.
Yes.
The MX-5 has obviously a little bit more power, like in terms of gear ratio, etc., because it does have more gears. However, like the actual like wheel spin through a corner and getting on the throttle too early, etc., like that's gonna it just correlates so well. And the other thing, the track design is the best I've ever seen. Like, at the moment, I've been racing on Oran Park, and dad and mum are like really big supporters of iRacing. They've actually like, I think this is the most amount of time they have watched me stream in my entire streaming
that's
career,
really cool.
I guess.
That's really cool.
Yeah, in the last 3 streams, they've been in 2 of them.
Wow.
So yeah, and
Wait,
they message me all the time. Huh?
Does your dad have a Twitch
Like,
account?
Yeah. Dad has
That's sick.
Yeah. My mum and dad have one. But yeah, like I was getting messages all the other night. I was just on my phone, like, but it was my first race. So I did my first race Thursday night. So Tuesday I practiced this new track, and then Thursday night I did my first race. actually ended up winning that race.
Yeah.
So my first ever race I qualified first and finished first, which was pretty cool.
Insane, dude. That's so good.
And mum and dad were like, please let us know when that's on because we'll watch it. And then yeah, and then I just got like messages from mum saying like awesome racing driving, Matt. And that's what I'd get when I was at the track, you know, like just like little things like that. Like, that's great racing, God. And then I was like, I didn't realize how close to the nerves were the same. Like you're sitting on the starting grid, you take off, and then that's all that matters, right? And it was exact same feelings, emotions you go through. Is just like that. Okay,
So
like
it's pretty,
this is what I gotta do.
like they're similar. You know, you go through the same process, same emotions, like all that stuff that lines up pretty well to what you feel when you're actually going to race a car in real life.
Yeah,
that's pretty amazing to be able to
unreal.
translate that into a game.
Even like breathing is exactly the same. Like around corners, if you're not familiar with motorsport and everything like that, your breathing will change just because you're concentrating, right? So
yeah,
and the biggest thing with race drivers is the biggest thing they do is forget to breathe. It's not a like a, you know, it's not a thing that we don't like we don't want to breathe around this corner. It's just literally that's just how our body thinks.
You're that focused on doing what you're
doing.
You're
that focused on what you're doing.
Your
that your
automatic
breathing
processes,
goes out of
yeah,
and all the adrenaline, everything's pushing. So you literally the biggest issue is breathing. And there's actually been times where actually race engineers have to tell people to breathe. A big one that was really well known for not breathing was Mark Scaife. Scaife always forgot to breathe, and his race engineer on every straight told him to breathe. They actually told him, breathe, mate, breathe. So it's he would just forget around, and that's exactly how I do it. So around like corners and stuff, you ever watch my if you ever watch my stream now, you actually see what I do under my helmet. And there's you can go back and watch those parts. I've seen,
yeah. That was the first thing I paid attention to, was the facial expressions.
Yeah, I do that under my helmet.
That's strange that is. Yeah. You should wear a helmet.
Yeah, I should just wear a helmet.
Yeah, I don't see why.
But then on straights, you'll see that I go like that. Like that's exactly the same thing that I do on in real life, which is very odd.
Wow.
In that position, but we've done we basically need to get a safety rating of 3.0 to be able to get into our D license. And so I won my first race. The second race, I was in second battling with first, and then third decided for some whatever reason to outbrake himself and hit me, so he's turned me around and I finished like ninth.
Oh really?
And then
okay, see, I missed that. That sucks.
Yeah.
Was that the turnaround?
It was great. It was
Was that the turnaround I saw where you were in a bit of a pack of cars, in a group of cars?
That was the last race, I think.
Yeah. Oh, okay, yeah, cool. Yeah,
all that night.
That's what we're talking about. Yeah.
It was just my fuck up. Like cold tires exist, even in real life, and these were cold tires, and MX-5s on cold tires are trash.
Yeah,
like, they are bad, and so I just went into a corner too hot, trying to keep up with first. Didn't work. So and then that was it for that night. And then yesterday, I just decided, we're gonna get out of our rookie, because rookies are interesting. There's a lot of skill gap in rookies. There's good ones, bad ones, all in between. You know, so that's sort of what happened. And we won back-to-back races last night in MX-5s.
Oh, you did?
So we won back-to-back.
So sick, dude.
Yeah. So we got out of that, and then in the D license, I have ended up going into a Ferrari Gt3. So I'm now learning a Ferrari Gt3, and it is completely different.
Yeah, it would
completely different.
A lot quicker.
Way different. A lot quicker. A lot more sensitive on brakes. It's got downforce, so it just goes around. It sticks. It's completely different to what the MX-5 is, and it's crazy that it is so different. Like it's I'm relearning how to race again. You know, which is like that's the thing. So what translates from car to car is you obviously speed, a big thing. You know, a Ferrari to an MX-5 is very different. But what actually relates is braking marker. Braking markers actually don't change. Like a lot of people think that like a I don't know a Mustang and a Ferrari braking markers like the only difference might be 50 meters in terms of braking, but not a
Yeah.
lot of steering input doesn't change, all that sort of stuff, right? So you know that in any other car that you were in, that say a braking marker of 200 meters, you could comfortably pull up any car, right?
Yeah.
Obviously, there are little differences, but
Of
most of the
course.
time you should be able to always hit 200 meters because that's when you're confident, and every car has brakes, you hope, right? So if a Ferrari goes into a corner, all it changes is sensitivity of the brake. So you either like what I'm finding right now is on the MX-5, I would step on the brake, it wouldn't lock. This one has ABS built into it, and
Right.
I activate the ABS, and you don't want to do that because it
No.
just blocks everything up.
Yeah. Does that
So that's like the
does that
small little differences.
mess your tires up as well in game?
Not ABS,
Yeah. Okay.
but you can
Can you
if you
flat
lock
spot
it,
tires? Is what
you
I'm
can
asking.
flat
Yeah.
spot tires. Yeah, you can flat spot. Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, the tires go start cold, they come on, they go off. They actually do. Like you can feel it too. They get a bit mushy through
Yeah.
the 15 laps that you do, which is true to life. It would be.
That's
Like
super
if you
cool.
a consistent time is like if you ever look at a graph, it's like a wave. Like
Yeah.
it would go like this. So you start sort of low lap times, and then you'll curve back up to your fastest lap times, and you'll come back down to your lowest lap time, and
Yeah.
then that's it. And then if you can keep that consistency between the wave, then you're usually getting faster. Like you would take tenths out of people behind you and stuff like that. So
Yeah. Yeah. That's what it all comes
yeah,
down to,
that's
isn't it?
consistency is key. Yeah, you want to be in the sort of flat line area. But yeah, honestly, I really hope that like someone else can experience it that I know, like you or
Oh man,
I know Slothy. I know he's got the itch too because he sees and like fuck man. Like
yeah.
I think he's a bit frustrated that he got rid of his steering wheel because he didn't realize something like that existed.
Yeah. The biggest thing for me into doing something like that is obviously one, getting a decent setup, but two is actually like playing Forza was great. I enjoyed playing Forza. It's a fun arcade game, but the word arcade is my keyword there.
Oh,
I can't stand in that game that the CPU players click their fingers, the driver tires click their fingers, and all of a sudden you're on a straight redlining at the max speed and they're going past you. Purely because the CPU is like, oh, we have to make up time here. That's bullshit. If that car's not capable of doing 10 kilometers quicker than what I'm doing, fuck off.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's an arcade game, so you kind of have to expect that, which for me is like, I don't like that anymore. That doesn't excite me anymore because like that's not racing. It's not real pod racing, you know what I mean? God damn it. Yeah, that's why that's the thing that excites me probably partially about that. The other thing is I've always wanted to race or get as close to doing something like that as possible, but obviously there's a massive paywall to get into motorsport. There's a massive paywall to continue in motorsport, especially when concrete is a thing.
Well, what's really interesting is I found something out about iRacing last night that I didn't know, and this shout out to Pyro because he's been helping me all like through it all.
Yeah, he's pretty into it, isn't he?
Oh well, yeah, he works out of a basically a motorsport company. So
yeah, okay, cool.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
They do all Porsches and Carrera Cups and stuff like that. But
wow.
The thing that he was saying is I didn't know this, but obviously, so how iRacing works is a subscription based game. So you pay basically $15 a month to be able to play the game, right? In scheme of subscriptions, that's actually quite on the cheap end.
Yeah, definitely.
And then basically how it works is that gives you 16 cars, 22 tracks, well-known tracks, by the way, and basically access to all the rookie classes, right?
That's super
Rookie
cool.
classes and tracks always stay free. That's from your subscription. And then anything on top of that, so for instance, now that I'm getting into the D licenses, I have to buy tracks and cars, right? Now, it's all in US. I didn't realize this the other day, but so a car is $12 basically. So the Ferrari Gt3 that I bought last night was $12 and the tracks are $14 US, right? So it's $20
each.
Australian, $20 Australian for a track.
Yeah.
And like $15 for a car, right? if you buy 3 of them at the same time, any pieces of content, you get 10% off. If you
That's not too
buy
bad.
5 or if you buy 5 or more, you get 20% off. And
Can
then
we
if you own 30 pieces of, I think you were saying, or 40 pieces of content, you get guaranteed 10% off all the time.
Okay.
So it's not a bad system.
Can we use code Onechance for
Yeah, use code Onechance at the checkout for nothing.
Yeah.
And then
for fun?
yeah, for fun. And then but the other thing that I found really interesting is there's obviously a cap on it through each year, but there's a thing that you can accumulate, right? So there's seasons within iRacing,
Yeah.
and if you do at least one race in each week in that category, so season runs for 13 weeks.
Yep.
You actually accumulate iRacing credit,
Okay.
which actually accumulates to $10 every 13
Season.
weeks.
That's not
Yeah.
bad.
Yeah.
That's not
Yeah,
bad.
so
'Cause if you had
so in a year
yeah, right.
you can make 40 iRacing credits, and
It's
that
about $40, yeah.
allows you $40. So you
So
just get $40 to play iRacing.
Yeah,
if
I
you
mean,
do it
see,
each
if
week.
that's cool because it means if you play a full season, yeah, okay, or you play a full year, right? And you might main a specific car or whatever, and by the end of that year, you might be like, okay, cool, I want to step up into this car, and you can buy it.
Yep.
And another track, or if you got your heart set on a particular track or something like that, it gives you the opportunity to buy it without having to. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah,
That's really cool.
When he explained that to me, I was like, oh, that makes sense. And I said, so does that mean that if I did, say, for instance, MX5s and Ferrari, for instance,
Yeah.
that at the end of those 2 seasons, I could make $20? And he said, yeah, but obviously there's a cap on it, right? So, because I'm racing in 2 different like racing seasons. I'm racing in the Ferrari category as well as the MX5 category. So at the end of it, I will accumulate that because I raced in each one of each track, yeah.
So you can literally do. Oh, I mean, what's the cap on how many different?
Yeah, so you can make $40 in a year.
Okay. Yeah.
So so the category, right? So if I wanted to tomorrow, I could race in every single rookie category each week.
Yeah.
There's no limit to what I can register to, as long as I'm eligible and have the car to be able to race in it.
Right. Yeah. That makes sense.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So basically, that's why you see, like, you go on an iRacing stream or whatever, they'll go Formula V's because that race is coming up in 15 minutes, and then after that, you can race every probably 10 minutes if you wanted to in different categories.
Not bad. Not bad.
Yeah, not bad. Yeah, and I like the drip feeding system too. So with the rookies, like, there's just baseline. There's nothing you can setup wise change. Nothing. Just don't touch anything. You just drive, right? Which is a really good introduction.
Yeah.
And D class unlocks a little bit more, so brake bias and all that sort of stuff starts to come in. Then C class, then you get to do your full setups. So it's a drip fed system, so that it's like no learn safety, learn racing, etc. But I feel like a lot of people get hard stuck D license where I am.
Yeah.
Because I did my first race last night in Ferraris just to see how it was going.
Yeah.
I'm about a second and a half off the leaders, which is
okay.
They're quick, man. But
yeah. But you're learning a car. You're learning a car.
I was learning a car as well.
Yeah.
I got up to 8th. I got up to 8th. I started 15th and got up to 8th. So I was pretty happy with that.
That's
and then
unreal.
I made a mistake.
That's going to happen.
Yeah. It happened.
Was that a track you were familiar with as well? First time on track?
I
did practiced or whatever?
I was practicing that an hour beforehand.
Yeah, right.
So I only had about an hour's practice on the track. Now I've got more, and I'm sort of understanding how the car. I just locked brakes, and that was it. I went, yeah, it's what it is. It's gonna happen. Yeah, and all my and yeah, the guys in chat as well were just like, yeah, it's gonna happen. Like it was just whatever, and I wasn't like kicking myself. It was just good to know where I was at that point. You know, like yeah, I can race okay. It's just I've got to be more confident in that car.
Yeah,
so,
definitely.
Yeah. No, nowhere near confident.
The car is definitely more capable of putting up quicker times and going to corners differently. I mean, that's a big learning experience on every different track as well.
Yeah,
it's one thing to understand how the car operates, but yeah, that's the amazing part. Every track, the car's going to handle different. The car's going to enter corners different, come out of corners different speeds, all that stuff. So you've got like entry level stuff, and then it's just an exponential curve of how much you have to learn on track to actually put up those times. And I reckon for you to be like 1 second or 1.5 seconds off the pace, whatever it was, that's pretty good on your first crack. That's nice. Yeah, I like it.
I was pretty happy, and then I got down to, if I did my optimal, I would have been 0.6 off the pace. So by the end of the night, I'm pretty happy with that.
That's
Yeah.
unreal.
And the other thing that I forgot to mention before we move on is
Yes.
the I've lost the train of thought. What was it? Oh yeah, every 13 weeks. This is gonna blow your mind, Matt.
I'm ready. Hit me.
Every season
Yeah.
they release new cars and new tracks.
Oh, really? Yeah, that's super cool.
Yeah.
Every 13 weeks.
Every 13 weeks there is new content to that game.
Wow. Okay, so it's keeping it fresh as well as. I mean, you really have to pick what car you want to jump in and like just sort of like main. You have to main a car. Otherwise, with the amount of tracks there are, you're just never going to get competitive with it.
Yeah.
It's unreal, dude. What they
do?
What do you have your eye on?
Huh?
What car do you have your eye on?
I want to end up in Porsche GT3s.
Yeah.
A very popular category. But the GT3 class is probably what I want to end up in. I also would like to fuck around with V8s a bit. I think that'd be
cool.
Fun. Yeah. I bought that the other day as well.
Oh, did you? Yeah, that'd be probably the first thing
I haven't tried it yet.
But... Oh man, that needs to be on stream. That needs to be on stream. I want to see that.
Yeah.
That'd be so cool because you've been there in real life as well.
Barlow messaged me the other day and he was just like, "How much do I need to give you to do a Bathurst stream?" And I said, "Nothing. I'll just get it when I get it." Like, so
wish that would be cool that ready. To do a Bathurst 1000.
It'd be pretty cool, huh? Yeah.
Or like even a 500.
Yeah.
I've
really already been like Pyro's basically said that like you get the C license. There's 10 hours and 24 hours. We'll get you in one of them. I'm like, yeah, cool. All right. So,
oh really? There's actually like those events.
Yeah. Oh yeah, there's 10 hours all the time. Yeah.
10 hours,
yeah.
really?
iRacing have their own channel and there's actually like pro players in iRacing. They get paid to race.
That's insane, dude.
Yeah. They do they had the NASCAR series 4 days ago.
Yeah.
On their Twitch channel. And then they also had Rallycross a couple of weeks ago.
Rallycross would be cool to try out.
Rallycross looks a bit of fun, yeah. So
scary as hell, but it'd be good to try out.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm keen.
It's on my list of things to do. Definitely on my list of things to do, but
hashtag soon, as we always like to say.
No, I'm not about hashtagging, man. I'm just gonna do it. For Christmas. Anyway,
bro, just
we're 45 minutes in.
Oh no, man, we're probably not gonna have enough topics to talk about today.
Well, yeah, that was so the first conversation we had was like, do we have enough stuff to talk about today? I mean, we're not even a quarter of the way through, but I think one of the main things I really wanted to talk about is Mr. Beast's Squid Game video and all the things that are around that. Dude, did you watch Squid Game?
Yeah, of course I did.
Okay, cool. So if you're not familiar with Squid Game, then I mean, what are you doing here? It's worth a watch. Some people completely hate it. Some people really love it. I was in that in between where I was like, take it or leave it. I probably wouldn't watch it again, put it that way. But then now, Mr. Beast obviously is known for doing the most crazy shit. Bro, I end up in a hole after watching that Squid Game video this week. I end up in a hole for like another hour and a half watching his videos. I was like, the stuff they do is so cool.
Man. Yeah, but imagine the stuff. Yeah.
That was a warehouse. I remember seeing videos or pictures of like them developing that.
Yeah.
What a thing to do, man.
It's like the production side of things. Like I remember him saying like, yeah, we blew out the budget, but like we're too far in now to do it. Well, to stop. But the sets, I just couldn't get over the sets that he's
just
done,
incredible, wasn't it?
Like they were like, did they fly to Korea and just use them? That's how it looked. Hey, like it was
100%, man.
It was unreal, man.
It was so cool.
And then I loved the concept of like how they would knock people out. Like obviously, if you guys aren't familiar with the show, the premise is that
Battle Royale.
All these people, it basically is, but it's basically a game show that are for people that have no reason basically to live. Like they are at the low of lows. They're the poor population. The desperation for money is overruling basically any of their
Correct.
judgment,
Correct. Yeah.
and they are invited to this game show where they just think they can win money, but little do they know that it's that their price is their life. Like,
Yeah. You either if you go in, you don't come out alive unless you win. Basically, is what it is.
Basically the premise. Yeah.
So
and all these they play children's games, and so what Mr. Beast has done is done basically the games that have been shown in the
Squid Game. Well, they first of all they've recreated the entire set from Squid Game.
That's unreal.
Like
the scale, man. The scale.
Think of the like if you've seen Squid Game for you guys that have seen it, obviously. If you haven't seen the Mr. Beast stuff, obviously go watch it. But if you have seen Mr. Squid Game, the scale of everything they do, like the dorm rooms, the main I don't know what the main room is with all the sand and beach stuff on the walls. That the maze where you've got to play the ball games to get out, all that stuff.
It's all the same
to scale. It's almost identical. The way
it is.
Do you know how much they spent on it? I'd love to know.
Can't remember. He said he blew it out like 5. Yeah, I think it was like 1 point something million that they've spent on it.
Yeah, I remember it was being a lot. But and then I also have seen a video of them talking about like because they run on really really thin margins to make money on these videos, which is pretty insane.
3.5 million.
Get what? Oh my god.
Yeah, Ellie just said that. 3.5 million.
Unbelievable, dude.
Yeah.
That's a big set. I hope they can use it for something else or sell it back to Squid Game if they bought it off Squid Game.
What I find crazy, the biggest statistic for me out of that whole thing was in an hour, because I was at work when it sort of dropped. Yeah. Within an hour, it had 4.2 million views.
Yep. That's
in an hour.
That's nutty. People knew it was coming, so they knew to watch out for it, obviously, which helps the marketing of the video.
Like, I mean, his marketing is just next level.
He's the best. He's probably he's won YouTube. He wins YouTube. I mean, I knew there was PewDiePie, and he, but like PewDiePie, like for me, he just needs to just say I'm PewDiePie, and that's it, right? Like he's at that point. Same with Mr. Beast as well. To be fair, Mr. Beast will always have a following, but they're going for 100 mil.
Like
100 mil subs.
Yeah,
which is like pretty crazy to think about, isn't it?
Mind blowing, really.
It's 4 times the population of Australia subscribed to your YouTube channel.
And probably most of Australia is.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of boomers here, man. I don't think about it.
Yeah, but like, I mean, well, yeah, true. Yeah, but,
it doesn't help.
But like, yeah, just the small little things they did, like the pouches that explode when they, like, I was like, oh, okay, so how are they going to like get?
How are they going to kill people?
Here? Like, how are they going to kill people here?
Yeah,
and like that was.
So everybody wears a pack, and the pack, just for those of you listening, everyone wears a pack. And basically, I think Mr. Beast and some of the guys have tablets that are connected to an app. Yeah. And basically, they press the button on the app for number 425, and number 425's pack like explodes and it makes a sound, and they die effectively. So super, super cool. I'd have a feeling something that was automated as well, because in that first one where they had to run
red light, green light, right?
Yeah.
It's like a motion sensor thing.
So weird, man. Like,
that was weird. It detected motion.
Yes. Because that wasn't on the app. That was literally, if you moved, you died effectively.
Yeah. And the crazy thing was, it was quite forgiving, which is like how the show was. Like sort of when you like, you settle yourself, that wouldn't have killed you. But if you moved a foot or leant forward more, it's like you almost compressed it.
A depth sensor or something like that. Weird.
No idea. Yeah. I don't know. The technology went into that. They've obviously like really thought about it. And the one that got me right was the tug of war. Like,
that was so cool.
Because I was just like, oh, they're just going to have the people in front, and then just probably in front of them, they're going to have the tug of war, and whoever goes over the line. On the ground
level. That's what I thought.
No, they just decided to go 1-to-1 scale and put them up in the fucking air with a fucking dumpster bin with foam in it. I was like, all right, dude.
Yeah, right.
Like, holy shit.
And that's
crazy.
That sort of shows like the scale of the videos that they're doing now. This is bigger production budgets than a lot of TV shows. Actually, by, I would argue, a majority of TV shows now. Like, they might have a bit more experience and, I wouldn't even say more cameras and stuff like that, like more hardware, because it's not. People like if he spent 3.5 million just on building the set or making the whole video, whatever it was, that's I'd love to see what Home and Away's budget for one episode would be. It wouldn't be that much, I'll tell you right now. Not even close, dude.
What I found really interesting about that as well is they almost it was weird to me because I don't know if you noticed it too, but it almost felt like they had made a couple of characters in that. You know what I mean? Like, but when you were sort of
4,
going
5,
through
6.
it, yeah, they sort of they showed sort of backstories a little bit to a couple of contestants that we were like, okay, that's kind of weird. They did it very early on,
Yeah.
and then you kind of related to them, and you're like, oh, he's still there, sick. And then like they all were in the final, and I was just like,
what did I see?
they made me relate to people
they...
I felt really bad. Like I really wanted that
4, 5, 6 guy, the main
I wanted
character.
him to win, man. Yeah.
Whether that was scripted or not scripted, or whether they were like told, or whether their censor had more leeway, or whatever it was.
Yeah.
The fact that they managed to keep even just that main character in the game that long. I don't know if they managed to keep it or he just managed to do it himself. And I'd like to think he just did it himself just for shits and gigs.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. I mean, I have a feeling that they may have just done like a filmed everyone that basically came in and said like, why are you here? That sort of idea. So that footage could be then cut up if they got to the last part.
Yes.
But the fact that like
part of the editing.
there was like 4 of them that made it to the final, and I was just like, I know a bit about every single one of these guys.
Playing musical chairs, dude.
Yeah, dude, I loved that. I just love as well. He's just like, yo, okay, so does anyone know how to play Squid Game? And he's just like, just for science, and no one put their hand up. He's like, that's what I thought. So we're playing musical chairs.
Yeah. No kidding.
Because we're not Korean. So. No, it was fantastic.
I always look forward to the Beast videos when they come out, man.
Oh, it's unreal, man. But yeah, if you haven't watched it, Mr. Beast channel, like honestly, it's just production value wise, like he's nailed it. You know what?
This probably throws us nicely into the next thing I want to talk about is you don't get that. Very rarely do you get that kind of production value on a live set. And when I say live set, I mean like Twitch. Twitch isn't there yet with that kind of level. It's like YouTube v Twitch. I mean, there's a lot of aspects to that. And you were talking about switching over to YouTube to stream more variety content or more specific content to Destiny. And then you're using Twitch as your variety platform for your iRacing and League of Legends and New World and all that sort of stuff, which I think is cool. But to relate it back to what we were talking about with Mr. Beast, you don't have that yet. I don't know if we'll get there where Twitch has, and I think we may have discussed it previously, where Twitch has like a high production value channel, like a channel 7 or channel 9, channel 10, whatever it is, where it's running 24/7, but they've got different content at different times of the day. They're not there yet. I don't know if it's going to get to there. And I think I spoke about Slothy about it as well. He doesn't think that's really feasible on Twitch, which I would agree to some degree. Because obviously Twitch cuts you off after 24 hours or something. You have to stop and restart the stream. Whatever it is.
No, you don't need to, because Streamer House do it.
Oh yeah, true. Well, yeah. I'd like to see something like that in Australia mainly. And this is everything I ever talk about is always I'd like to see it in Australia, because it's great to see it overseas, where obviously there's a lot more money, a lot more people to do these things. But it'd be cool for something like that to happen here. And I don't know if we get there, but I think it'd be really cool if we did.
Yeah.
I'd love to see some Twitch take that next step. YouTube has, and that's why you got your top tier guys making these really high production value, great content to watch.
Yeah, but like, I don't know. Do you think live? Do you think something live 24/7 is always going to be interesting?
That would be the challenge. I mean, there's always people streaming 24/7.
Oh yeah, I mean, yeah,
with
like
varying levels of viewership.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really particularly understand the whole trend of the subathons going at the moment, but the ones where they just keep going on for like a month.
That's not right.
Ludwig, I would say Ludwig did it right. He was one of the first that did it, and he ran for like a month and a half, and he actually showed that it is statistically wise better for a channel to stay live than it is to ever stop, right? Which makes sense because you're going to have followers and subs and all that sort of stuff. And he breaks it down. There's a great video actually. He goes into all the depth. He shows his revenue that he made
Okay.
statistics,
Just
etc.
send me the video.
Yeah, I
later,
will.
but can
Yeah.
you? Was it viable for worthwhile him doing that?
Very
Basically,
much.
having his entire daily life on Twitch.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Now we're
right.
talking about someone that's big anyway, so he's like
Yes.
15,000 viewers, etc.
So yeah, we're
right?
not
But
saying go out and do that right now. If you're
No.
if you're a small streamer or even a
Don't do
medium
that.
streamer, don't do that. Unless
Yeah,
you
don't do that.
that's what you want. That's what you want your content to
This
be.
is a community. This was a community that kept pushing him. Like it would be down to minutes, and then they would push it back up to like another hour, another 2 hours, another 3 hours. Like they were constantly gifting subs to keep him on air. He was expecting it to last like a week, right?
Yeah.
That's it. He was expecting it to, and it ended up nearly lasting 2 months.
That's funny because it gets to the sub
Yeah.
renewal time.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's basically what happened. It actually got to the 4 week mark, and then everything came out, and he ending up being up like 30 hours again because they all resubbed. Like it was crazy. And so he was just like, oh fuck, okay, well, we're doing this more. But like obviously he took breaks, he had mods were getting paid, he paid his mods. So
That's
all
good.
the revenue that he made, he broke it down. He made like 400 grand. Yeah,
That's nuts.
in yeah, and then so he like then he divvied it down. He said, this is how I'm going to use my money, and it was good because he said like, this is going to charity, this is going to my mods because they deserved it. They like, and he paid them like $5,000 each, which is,
wow,
I mean, fuck,
not bad for monitoring a
that's
chat.
pretty generous.
Yeah,
and then
absolutely.
he said like, this was for the production wise. He paid 3 people that helped him keep it all happening. And then he said, I ended up with like 20 grand. But that's not what I did it for. I did it to see the experiment and see if it actually was viable and works. And
Yeah.
he said, for sure it does, right? But he's very entertaining. And he obviously plays games and stuff for a living. So he just watched videos and chilled. And then they like, he would set up, like he had cameras everywhere in his house. They would cook dinner. He would do like Uno nights. He would like, he was making it like it was Big Brother, right? It was like that idea of, he was showing his life for an entire 2 months basically, and then it would show him sleeping in the background or whatever, and then getting up and having a shower, like obviously not TOS, but like
it
would show him, like he would have a conversation and talk to people whilst doing all the stuff that you'd normally do every day, which is a really cool concept. But I don't know, would that ever get boring? Like watching that?
I mean, has Big Brother got boring in the 20 million years that's been running? I mean for
true.
me, yes.
Yeah.
But there's still a lot of people.
I mean, I guess as well, you want to see how long it goes for, right? I guess that's it. Because I would always check in. I didn't even follow
that's
him.
the thing. Yeah,
I didn't even follow him.
I did the same thing. I found myself checking a couple of times.
I was just curious to see how it was going. Yeah. But I guess the curiosity of that, it's really weird. I guess the same thing is, it's like, why would you want to watch someone eat? A lot of people find it.
I mean, look at the. I'd hate saying this, but look at the mukbang videos, dude. I can't stand that stuff.
I can't work it out. I mean, whenever I eat as well, maybe it creates conversation, right? Maybe that's it. Because like whenever I'm eating dinner, streaming, they're like, "Oh, what's for dinner?" And it's just like
Vegemite saladas.
Yeah. Or like I'll literally show my food, and they'll go, "Oh, that looks good." I'm like,
that's me goreng. That's me goreng, bitch. That's the good stuff.
Oh man, I haven't had that one. But is it? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if YouTube is an archive. That's in my opinion, the difference is like if obviously if the population got wiped tomorrow, we have a legacy.
We have a lot of how-to videos, which is kind of the way I see YouTube now. YouTube's a how-to / like keeping up. So okay, this what I watch on YouTube right now is obviously Hex, because Hex things, daddy. And the other one, like this is the ones I watch religiously, daily, day and date. When a video comes up, I'm watching it. And the other one is it's called Lawn Tips. And the guy, like, I don't even know why, but I just love following like Lawn Tips. Has just moved into a new place. He's got all this farmland effectively, and he's going to work out, like he's working out what he's going to do. Like he's put a little golf course in, what types of grass he wants to put in places, renovations. And for me, that's great because I'm learning, because I'm doing my own lawn and my own yard stuff. But that's what I feel like YouTube's just like the how-to thing, where Twitch is that live. If you want to go and interact and see how a game is, or even, I mean, what sort of live stuff do I watch? There's a guy I used to watch a little bit of, and he would just literally walk around Japan or ride around Japan, and he had this like, hey,
is that retro guy? I don't know. I watch retro. He's in Japan, so
can't remember his name. His name was Rob. But anyway, he would literally just walk around Japan with a backpack and a camera, and it was just literally his daily life walking around Japan. That's all he did, and he'd always average like 2K people.
Yeah.
And in fairness, you know, you say it might get boring. I've been sort of checking on him for months and months and months now, like probably 12, 18 months. Still consistent, still 2K. And I think the interesting thing about that is the content he's shooting is live Japan, right? It is what's happening at the time. It is at a restaurant. It is, you know, riding through the main town at night, or finding or having these conversations with different people. It'd be amazing fun, man. I don't know about doing it in Melbourne or Adelaide.
Yeah, that's the thing. I think you can kind of get away with it in Japan. Like obviously, I watch Retro, and he does the same thing. He goes around vlogging Japan, and he takes you anywhere he goes, like Tokyo, Okinawa, wherever he is, really, basically.
Yep.
But he will always ask first, "Can I stream here?" Like he'll go in to a restaurant, ask him. Yeah. He'll get his mate to ask him, and if they say no, they just go and find somewhere else where they can. And I just don't know. I mean, and that's probably part of it as well. Is that like people like don't want to be filmed sometimes as well.
Of course,
you know. So I think that's the difficult thing with like sort of IRL stuff. Like, you know, I guess Australia, in my opinion, is I don't know if I'd actually feel comfortable going down like Rundle Mall.
Yeah,
and
I feel like in
being okay with that.
Japan, we could probably argue Japan is probably a little bit more advanced in terms of technology and the way they view things. Australia,
even America's better.
Yeah.
Why would I be more comfortable doing it in America than I would here? Maybe it's because it's bigger in America.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like this may be due to that, like an older population we have. We have a small population, and it is generally speaking older. Whatever the average age is higher than all these countries.
I think it's like 36 or something.
But for you to walk around CBD Melbourne right now with a camera on would be probably a bit weird. A lot of people people will still stop. I mean, they're going to do that everywhere, but people still stop and look like, what's he doing? Like, he's got a camera. Like, what's going on here? It's a bit sus. You know what I mean? You go somewhere like Japan, it's a little bit more accepted. People just walk around doing different things.
You don't see, like,
I've never seen anybody aside from myself, aside from Pax, out in town vlogging. Not once.
Yeah, that's probably it, right? Like, because I swear that when you go to, like, I mean, TikTok's massive in Japan. Huge. Massive. Like, there's another one as well. I can't think of the name, right? But they're walking around, and like legitimately there are places where all the TikTokers film their TikToks. Like they'll go to this plaza, and like I remember I was watching Sushi Potato. She's another one. She's one of Retro's friends, and she was walking like in this area, and there was just like fucking 50 people with their phones like on a concrete wall or something, just filming their TikToks, and she was just like, "Oh, this is sick," but like. You wouldn't see that.
Creates like a creative incubator environment where everyone's doing the same thing. Yeah, I think that's really cool, and I don't think Australia's there yet. I don't think we've got stuff like that. I also think it's a little bit more shunned. Well, I also think,
I don't know. I also think that we aren't. Australians are at that point as well where we would just got someone go, "You're right there, mate." Like, you know what I mean? Like, it would be a bit more like...
I don't think you'd do that in Japan or places like that.
They're just too polite.
Even America, you probably wouldn't. I don't...
America's different, though, I think, because, like...
Yeah, it's true.
They I don't know.
This is just so you guys know, this is just our sort of gut feel on what we think from what we've seen. So our personal experience is why we're saying these things. Obviously... living in that environment or being, you know, part of that environment day in, day out, it's completely different. We could be way off the mark, but that's just gut feels.
We can only base it off what we see on Twitch, internet, etc. Right? But it does seem like it's a lot more
acceptable,
common,
socially acceptable.
Yeah, socially acceptable in other parts of the world than it is in Australia. Yeah. But mind you, like, it's not like Matt and I have gone to a CBD and just sat there for like 5 hours. I'm sure as shit there will be someone with a camera, but that's the thing. Generally, if you see someone with a camera in Australia, it's a tourist.
Yes,
like that's it. You would never see an Australian
with one of these,
unless of course.
Not that you guys can see it if you're listening, but I'm holding here what you would call a vlogging camera, which is just a DSLR camera with a microphone on top of it. You don't see that. Very rarely do you see that.
Not in Australian's hands, in my opinion.
No,
and that's
except for
weird to
now.
me.
Isn't
It's
it?
weird to me. Like, why?
Why is that so weird? Why is that so weird? Yeah. It feels weird in Australia, but it's probably not. I mean, and I've done a bit of vlogging and stuff like that out.
Because I actually feel weird. I feel weird when I'm filming too much outside. Yeah. I know, like obviously there's that barrier because like even Retro said when he first started doing IRLs, he was nervous to do it. Like even in Japan, right?
Yeah.
But like he then sort of just gets over it because like people don't care, and if they have a problem with it, they're just going to tell you that they have a problem with it.
And what's the worst case scenario there? Really, it's like, okay, cool. I won't get you on the stream. I'll go this way. What
he's done as well is really smart. He's actually he's obviously got tactics now of how he does like his camera work. So like for instance, he'll just say like, "Oh no, it's off," you know, and then like, but he'll put it down or something, so then it looks like it's not on.
Yeah,
then,
I get you.
Like there's certain things that obviously, but yeah, it's very I don't know. It's weird.
That'd be. I mean, that's all for your big streamers and stuff like that, or big and even medium size and stuff like that. I mean, we are in this small and extremely small category of that sort of stuff in an extremely small market, which is Australia. So I guess time will tell, man. I think time will tell.
If it was your job though, like, would you?
Yeah. I mean, look, if I was getting paid a full-time wage to go to literally show people my life, I'd probably do things a little bit different. I 100% would do things different. But I guess you can't get to that point unless you start, really, can you? So maybe we're doing it wrong. Are we doing it wrong? We're doing it wrong.
I don't think we are. I just don't think we are. Like, I mean, we wouldn't walk into me personally. We wouldn't walk into a mall filming because generally two things: you can't usually film in a mall. Yeah. In Australia, like they literally say there's most things that say no videos or cameras. Right? Yeah.
There's literally, I know, I'm pretty sure at Chadston, I know a lot of people would film at Chadston, especially with TikToks, but I have seen at the entrance to some shopping centers, I think Chadston was included.
Yeah, no recording.
They got the sign there, and they might have like a map, but then they'll have like cameras with the strike through. Yeah. No filming, no dogs, no whatever. Which it's each their own, I guess, if that's how you want to run your shopping center. But I don't know, man. I don't know. As I said, maybe we are doing it wrong. Maybe we need to look at this a little bit different and actually go and do it. But I'm not super interested in taking a camera everywhere with me. And for me, I like to generally provide some sort of value or information or value in a piece of content, which is why I love doing the podcast, because we get to give our hot takes and 2 cents on in different things. And I mean, we're at an hour and 10 now. We haven't got, we're literally, as we said before, at the 45-minute mark. We aren't even halfway through what we wrote down for this week, which I mean, we'll push some of that to next week, which I think we can, because we wanted to talk about Riot, League of Legends, Arcane, all that sort of stuff. Yeah, that's next week because I haven't watched it. We'll get to that next week, and there's a few other things, but we don't even need to, because I feel like with the iRacing stuff, we've given some good information for people to actually step back and be like, okay, that might be something I'm interested in. We've got your point of view, which is basically being in it, doing it from an IRL perspective and from an in-game perspective, which is awesome. And then me, basically as a layperson, not understanding either side, you explain that to me. So that, I think, is where the value comes from our content, is that sort of stuff. Yeah, that's it. But I'm not going to be walking around outside with my camera here. That there is more for me. I just enjoy doing little bits and pieces. Which I actually have. So what I'm in the process of doing, just as we wrap up, guys, because I think we'll wrap it up pretty soon. Yeah, I have, in the last 4 years since I did my last vlog on YouTube, and I was doing them like daily for a while there, is I've got a compilation of clips of me starting vlogs and like getting some clips throughout a day of doing stuff from the last 4 years. So I'm in the process of actually editing all that together, and that'd be great. It's coming soon, which is why a few weeks ago I was asking you so much about DaVinci and getting all that sort of stuff set up. Partially because of the podcast, but also partially because of that, because I wanted to like dabble again with video editing. Yep. But yeah, that's coming soon to a channel near you. Not that I expect people to watch that, but do you want to leave it there? Yeah, we'll leave it there, I reckon. All right, guys. Thank you so much for the support we've had on this so far.
Yeah, it's been nuts.
It's been so
honestly,
good. The YouTube's going
humbling.
really well. It is, isn't it? Like,
yeah, it's
considering we
crazy.
put this down for 2 years, which I still can't believe it's 2 years. That still blows my mind. It sucks. We really shouldn't have done that because I'd love to know where we'd be at right now. But anyway, water under the bridge. We're here, episode 3. Thanks, guys, for watching. We will see you next week.
Bye-bye.
Bye. I nearly pushed disconnect on Discord.
Oh, he's gone. He's actually gone.